Hello and welcome to another edition of Tom's Talks. It's an exciting weekend in store with the Epsom Derby meeting, and you have three rides on Friday, Tom. Starting off in the opening race in the Surrey Stakes, you had Francisco's Peace for trainer Adrian Keatley. He was a winner of a listed race at Sean T as a 2-year-old, and he was also second in the Red Koi 2-year-old trophy. How do you think he'll get on Saturday? On Friday?
Yeah, he's obviously coming back from a layoff of 200 odd days, so look, can't tell you too much about his sort of current form and well-being. But if you go back to last year, like you say, he's got some good form in the book. He made himself look good in France that day. And second in two-year-old trophies, it takes decent effort and a decent horse to do that. Um, he's had a long layoff. Hopefully, the winter will have done him well and he'll have grown a bit and stuff like that. And the usual hope is that they come into their 3-year-old year as a bigger and stronger model. And look, hopefully that'll be evident when I walk into the paddock on Friday and see him in person.
In the Oaks, you ride Killing Queen for trainer Ed Walker, a progressive filly who won over a mile as a 2-year-old and won a listed race nicely at Newbury last time out, beating Revoir.
Yeah, yeah, that was a really good effort winning at Newbury. It's obviously a sort of well enough renowned trial for the Oaks. I thought she did well in the fact that she didn't go overly quick mid race and had a good little kick to go and put the race to bed. And then she probably just idled the last 100, yards. You can see her ears flicking a bit and a bit of a sign of immaturity there. That being said, on her racecourse gallop, well, she didn't feel like a slow filly at all at Kempton when I rode her that day. Just sort of preparing her for the season ahead, she did feel like she would stay the mile and a half well. And I know that's always sort of been the team's idea with her that she'd be better going up to the mile and a half. So if that does come to fruition, it means that Newbury form was a really good run, and the fact she managed to do it over a mile and a quarter, and actually this trip's going to help her. Obviously, only 9 runners, because you do have a standout filly in there, and a lot have probably been scared off by that, but she's justified her place there. And look, she has a good bit of form to turn around with the Guineas winner, obviously, but she's definitely not there without a hope at all.
In the last race of the day, you ride Julia Augusta for trainer David O'Mara. He has a good record at Epsom in handicaps, and she ran a good race in the Group 3 at this Derby meeting last year when finishing fourth. Back in handicap company today, how do you think she'll get on?
Yeah, like you say, love the fact that all that Epsom form is there, and that's a big positive. We all know how much of a unique track it is, and hence I'm sure the reason that David's eyed this race up. Obviously, last time that was in group company, now back into handicaps, but look, Epsom form and tracks like this can just sort of reinvigorate those horses. And yeah, I mean, look, a bigger price on the day, but I personally would be one you probably wouldn't want to skip over too quickly, in the fact that form counts for so much on that track.
A big day ahead of Whirlpool racing on Saturday for Derby Day, and you've got four rides on the card, Tom. You start off with Convo in the 3-year-old Dash, a winner for a previous trainer, Amy Murphy. 6 foot Chester on your debut. How do you think you'll get on?
Yeah, look, good start back. I thought, Chester wasn't a bad run at all. Looks it's the 3-year-old only Dash, so um, it's an interesting one, and you get this clash of proper battle hardened 3-year-old sprinters that have been really busy last year already and busy to the start of this year, and some are sort of a bit less tried. Look, this fella had a good go last year. He's had the one run back so far, and as you mentioned, sort of it looks like a trainer change, but actually, I guess under the same wing, in the fact that Amy's obviously moved over to France now, and her partner Lemos is running operations back here. So, look, they know the horse well, and it's a pretty fast and furious race. Break is normally the most important thing, and it'll be interesting if this rain keeps falling with ground and stuff like that. That standside rail can be such a big help, especially on the sprint track. But obviously, that'll all sort of materialise over the next couple of days as to how much rain actually falls.
In the big race of the day, the Epsom Derby, you ride Nightwalker for John and Fady Gosden, a winner over 7 furlongs as a 2-year-old, and he was really eye-catching when staying on fifth in the Dante last time at York. Do you think the step up for an extra 2 furlongs should suit in the Derby?
Yeah, it certainly looked that way in the Dante. He probably just he wasn't the fastest into stride. Like he actually broke okay in his second stride. He just sort of just fumbled his lines a touch, and it just meant he lost that momentum. And the mile and a quarter start at York, you jump straight onto an elbow. So those outside horses, if they are going to go and get a good position, they have to be really fast into stride, which he wasn't. Hence ending up sort of where he did, and the pace of the race probably didn't really help him from where he was. I was actually back there with him because the horse I was riding that day fluffed his lines too, and it was always going to be hard to come from where we were. That being said, he did his best work from the two to the line and looked like he would stay. Uh, his dam's a half sister to Logician. Obviously, we know what he did over a staying trip. So, look, that stamina is there. And yeah, I mean, hopefully he takes that step up to the mile and a half well. He's with the right people in John and Thady Gosden and Juddmonte team. They know what it takes to win a classic. And yeah, they've angled this horse in here off the back of what was a good run in the Dante.
Sam Hawkins scores in the Northern Dancer handicap. Ran out a good winner at Newcastle last time. Should
He
go on.
did. Yeah, he was smart. Um, ran a really good time there as well on a day that I didn't think the track would allow it. It was quite warm. Um, and usually that means the surface is riding a bit slower, and hence sort of being surprised he managed to run such a good time. But I thought he showed a good turn of foot to go and sort of join into the race on the stand side fence when I wanted him to, and he quickened up smart. I feel like we're probably just starting to get the hang of him now. Obviously, he was bought out of Richard Hannon's yard and went to Williams, and it's taken a few runs to get him to this point, and a bit of time. But it feels like we're starting to get there with him, and Saturday will be a really interesting day as it's a more competitive race than what he contended in at Newcastle. But I feel like hopefully we're figuring him out bit by bit.
In the last year, I drama for James Ferguson. Another who was impressive last time out, a fast finisher. If his strong pace sets it up nicely, he could be finishing well.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's back on turf as well, which is an interesting one. Look, his very best form has undoubtedly been on the all-weather, but he's a sort of sit-in, finish up, and try and come with one fast run, which makeup of the race is going to be so important for us on Saturday with him. So and again ground. I rode him on very fast ground last year, and he didn't. It felt like it rattled him a little bit. So like, any ease in the ground, it should be of help to him. But this is a pretty different track in that where most of his usual form has been on those all-weather poly track, nice flat surfaces. He's got to contend with a nice steep hill and a bit of a cambered finish. So he's a good, talented horse, and he's been a lot of fun for Highclere and James so far. And hopefully he takes to the track well.
It's a big weekend of racing. Got some really exciting rides. Hopefully, can get a few winners on the board.
With a bit of luck.
Good luck.
Cheers.